Hi, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this video we're going to learn the 2 to 5 player game Dead of Winter, The Long Night, designed by John Gilmore and Isaac Vega and published by Plaid Hat Games. This is a standalone expansion, and that means everything that you need to play, which is everything you'll see in this video, is contained in the one box. You don't need the original, but if you have it, then you can combine them. We have a full instructional video teaching you exactly how to play Dead of Winter, and you'll need to know those rules in order to play this expansion, so I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. Here, we're just going to learn the new elements that the Long Night adds, so if you already know how to play Dead of Winter, you can pick this up and jump right into a game. In addition to some general new rules that you'll always play with, the expansion comes with 3 sets of rules and components known as modules that you can use in any combination, and we'll go over each of those as well. You'll also find a package of crossroad cards, specially wrapped, that contain some more maturely themed content, allowing you to decide whether you want to include them in your games or not. But let's begin by taking a look at the rules for setting up the game. First, you'll notice that the core cards for this expansion are marked with a moon symbol. But there are also symbols for the improvements, bandits, and Raxxon modules. Decide which modules you plan to play with and include those components, returning the other modules back to the box. One thing you might notice is that all of the locations from the original game are back again, along with some new ones, but now they're all boards, rather than just card paper. If you choose to combine the location decks of the original with this new one, shuffle them together by location and deal 20 to each, removing undealt ones from the game. This can affect the difficulty, but players can also custom build their own location decks for a more personal experience. You may find some effects in the game will refer to modules that you may not be using in the game you're playing. If so, simply ignore that portion of the card's instructions. Okay, next let's talk about some rules that affect all games, no matter which modules you're playing with. One is the first player vote. At the end of any round, any player can call for a vote, and if the vote passes, the first player token remains where it is. If the vote fails, then it passes as normal. If the game asks you to choose a random location, roll a 6-sided die and find the location with that value by looking in the top left-hand corner. This means locations with values higher than 6 will never be randomly picked, but that's okay as that's what the rules intend. There's a new board included called the Graveyard, where you'll place dead survivors and their cards, which not only provides a record of lost survivors, but will sometimes be referred to by the crossroad cards. These are despair tokens, which count as wounds when gained by a survivor, but may only be removed by effects that specifically target despair. Helpless survivor tokens are now double-sided. If you gain an unruly helpless survivor, you place the token on this side. These count as 2 helpless survivors for the purpose of paying food and adding zombies during the colony phase. However, the active player may discard a medicine card to the waste pile in order to flip an unruly survivor to its normal side. Barricade tokens are now double-sided. This is an explosive trap which you place in entrance spaces when instructed. They work like barricades, and when destroyed by placing a zombie there, it removes the zombie you would place, the token itself, and all other zombies at that location. Barricades there remain unaffected. When placing a new zombie at a location that is full with both an explosive trap and a barricade, the active player can decide which of these tokens to trigger. So those are the new general concepts, but the game also comes with 2 scenarios at the back of the rulebook to introduce and teach you the rules for the modules as you're playing. But hey, stick around and I'll just teach them to you right now. Let's start with the Improvements module. To set this up, be sure to first add all cards marked with the hammer icon to their respective decks. You'll also shuffle this Improvements deck, dealing 4 face-up in a row, keeping these advancement and improvement tokens nearby. During the game, certain effects will allow you to place advancement tokens on improvements that you choose. As soon as an improvement has tokens on it equal to or greater than the value shown here, it has been built or acquired, and its effect is now active. Return the tokens to the general supply and place the card on the colony's blueprint as a reminder of its abilities, or use the equivalent token if you prefer. Then draw a new improvement from the deck for the one that was taken. Next we have the Bandits Module. To set it up, add the cards marked with the Bandit symbol to their respective decks. Also place this Bandit's hideout in the play area, and note that it will not start with any cards. Put the collection of Bandit standees nearby as well. With this module, when you reveal a new crisis card, place 1 bandit on each location specified here in a survivor space. In this case, we put one bandit in both location 1 and location 2. If there's no space for a bandit at a location, it's simply not put there. You count bandits as survivors when adding zombies to their locations during the colony phase. So in this case, we would need to add 3 new zombies. If a location is overrun, then player survivors are still killed first. And if it's overrun and there are no survivors there, return all bandits at that location to the general supply. After resolving the Add Zombies step of the colony phase, draw 1 card from each location deck for each bandit at those locations. Then add them face up to the bandits' hideout here. These are the items that the bandits have scavenged from those areas and is known as their stockpile. A non-exiled survivor at the hideout may spend a die that they would normally use to search or attack based on their character. They then roll the die and consult the chart here based on the action they were performing. Successful searches and attacks will allow you to take cards from the stockpile, but also come with certain risks. A player may perform an attack action with one of their survivors to target a bandit at their location, following the normal rules for attacking a survivor, but treating bandits as having an attack value of 4. If you're successful, return the bandit to the general supply. If a player is exiled and they weren't the betrayer, they become known as leader of the bandits. From now on, when a new crisis is revealed, they choose the locations that the new bandits are placed in, and once per round on their turn, they can take any 1 card from the stockpile. Finally, we have the Raxxon Module. Set it up by adding the cards marked with this symbol to their respective decks. Now place the Raxxon location in the play area along with its specific search deck. And shuffle the Raxxon Experiments deck. These are double-sided cards, so place the audio log side face up for players to be able to read. Then place these side effect cards nearby as well. Its contents can be examined by the players at any time. Finally, ensure these special zombies are nearby as needed. If you search at Raxxon, at the end of that action, your survivor must roll the exposure die. When searching, sometimes you may come across pill items, like this one. If you decide to use a pill by playing it from your hand, then choose any survivor that you control to take the pill, rolling a die and following the instructions on the pill's description. If you are then instructed to equip a side effect, find the matching pill here, the green one in this case, and flip it to either the positive or negative side depending on the result, which you'll then equip to that survivor. And once equipped, a side effect can never be removed. The mysterious Raxxon is full of powerful items, but these come at a risk. During a player's turn, if they have a survivor at Raxxon, they may place dice from their unused dice pool to that location, keeping the values the same as what they had originally rolled. Then, at the beginning of the colony phase, if there are dice at this location that match the containment code shown on the top card of this experiment deck, all players vote with a thumbs up or down, with the most popular result taking effect. The first player will break any tied votes. If thumbs up wins, then discard this top Raxxon experiment card, allowing you to ignore its placement effect shown here. If thumbs down wins, then leave it in place, and the first player chooses a single location, which could include the colony, and they reduce the number of zombies to be added during the colony phase by 3. At the beginning of the colony phase, if there are not dice that match the containment code here, or if the thumbs down option had been chosen during the vote, examine this top area of the audio log. Place any zombies listed there at random locations by rolling a die for each one. You can identify the special zombies and their standees by looking at the reference page found here in the rulebook. Follow the normal placement rules for these zombies, meaning that if it triggers a trap, a barricade, or would cause an overrun, you resolve that, and then you discard the zombie as usual, along with the experiment card. If special zombies are successfully placed, then flip their experiment card to this encounter side, placing it where players can see it. Special zombies can only be killed by a regular attack. Other game effects from items and character abilities that do not directly involve performing an attack do not affect special zombies, although an exploding trap at that location will still remove them. Special zombies also can't be moved by any game effect except for those listed on their encounter card. If you have a survivor that attacks at a location, it must target special zombies before other potential targets. And when you attack a special zombie, roll for exposure unless an effect would prevent it. Then, if you're still alive, roll a die and apply its effect as listed here on the encounter card. If the zombie is removed and there are no more special zombies of this type in play, discard its encounter card as well. Dice placed at Raxxon for the purpose of attempting to match the containment codes are returned to the general supply at the end of the round. But players will of course get dice they spent this way back when they build their dice pools at the start of the next round. And that's everything you need to know to play Dead of Winter: The Long Night. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below, and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.